My sister stood at the altar, looking radiant in a $10,000 dress. Her 5-tier cake was waiting, and 100 guests were there to celebrate her perfect day. The only problem? It was all bought with my money. Every single cent was mine, saved over 3 long years of double shifts and budgeting that would make a saint weep. As the officiant started to speak, I just smiled, because every single guest was about to find out exactly what kind of person she really was. This wasn't just her wedding, it was the premiere of her downfall. Family betrayal hits different, doesn't it? It's a special kind of pain that comes from the inside, from someone you're supposed to trust completely. When it's your own sister, the girl who shared your childhood and promised to be your maid of honor, that pain is 1,000 times worse. My story isn't just about being wronged. It's about a deception so deep, so devastating, that it demanded an equally calculated response. It's a story about how trust, once it's shattered, can't just be glued back together. And it's about a revenge so public and so theatrical that no one who saw it will ever forget. I'm going to walk you through all of it, from the moment I handed over my life savings to the soul-crushing discovery of her treachery, and finally, to the glorious, chaotic, and satisfying moment I took my power back in front of everyone she knew. Family betrayal is a unique kind of pain. If you've ever felt that sting, let us know in the comments below. You're not alone. Make sure you're subscribed to Nightfall Narrative, because you'll want to see how this story of deception unfolds from the very start. My fiancé, Mark, and I were never extravagant people. Our dream wedding wasn't about gold-plated everything or some celebrity performer. It was simple. It was about us. We met in college, just 2 broke kids with big dreams and even bigger library finds. He was studying to be an architect, and I was working my way through nursing school. Our dates were cheap coffee, long walks, and splitting a single order of fries, and it was perfect. We built our relationship on shared goals and respect, not stuff. After we graduated and started our careers, we began to save. Every extra dollar went into an account we called the Future Fund. For 3 years, we were disciplined. I took extra shifts at the hospital, sometimes working back-to-back doubles until my feet were numb. Mark freelanced on the side, designing home extensions late into the night after his day job. We skipped vacations. We drove a car older than my youngest cousin. We said no to countless nights out. We ate more pasta than I care to admit, and slowly, that fund grew. After 3 years of grinding, we had $40,000. It felt like we'd conquered the world. It was more than just money, it was proof of our hard work, our sacrifices, and our commitment. This fund was our everything. It was for a down payment on a small house and our modest, beautiful wedding. We just wanted a small ceremony in a rustic barn with good food, good music, and the people we loved. This is where my sister Ella comes in. Ella is 2 years older, and to put it mildly, we're opposites. I'm a planner, she's impulsive. I'm cautious with money, she treats it like it's on fire. Growing up, she was always the baby, the one who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. If I saved my allowance for a month to buy a book, she'd borrow it, and I'd find it later with torn pages. My mom would always smooth things over, saying, "She just admires you. You should be flattered, be the bigger person." That was the soundtrack to my childhood. Despite all that, I really did love my sister. Family is complicated. When I got engaged, Ella seemed genuinely happy for me. She was the first person I called, and she shrieked, "Oh my God, I'm going to be a maid of honor. We have to plan the best wedding ever." In that moment, all my old reservations just melted away. I thought, maybe we're finally past all that kid stuff. Ella had recently gotten engaged, too, to a guy named Chad who was just as bad with money as she was. They were planning a wedding for the next year and were always complaining about how expensive it all was. My parents, who always enabled her, were helping, but their pockets had limits. My wedding was set for September. Ella's was the following June. About 6 months before my wedding, Ella came to me with an idea. She was working part-time at an event planning company. "Listen," she said, her eyes wide with what looked like sincerity. "I can get you massive discounts on everything. The venue, the caterer, the florist, my boss loves me and will give us the friends and family rate. We're talking like 40% off." It sounded too good to be true. I was skeptical, but she had emails, invoices, and a detailed spreadsheet. "The only catch," she said, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, "is we have to pay the vendors in cash up front. It's an industry thing. It avoids fees and taxes for them, so they pass the savings to us." Mark was hesitant. "That sounds shady," he said. "Why can't we just pay them ourselves?" Ella had an answer ready. "Because the deal is through *me*, through my company, I have to handle the payments. It's a trust thing with my boss. If you just trust me with the fund, I'll manage everything and you won't have to worry. I'll keep a perfect ledger." She looked so professional. She had the spreadsheets and the contacts, and she was my sister, my maid of honor. The idea of saving thousands of dollars on our hard-earned money was just too tempting. It could mean a better honeymoon or more for our house. Against my gut and against Mark's quiet doubts, I agreed. That be the bigger person programming runs deep. I wanted to believe she had changed. I transferred the entire $40,000 into a joint account we opened together. It was the biggest mistake of my life. For the first month, everything seemed perfect. Ella sent me updates, screenshots of fake confirmation emails, and pictures of flower arrangements she was negotiating. "Just secured the barn for a steal," one text read. "Caterer is locked in and they're throwing in the late-night snack bar for free," she'd chirp over the phone. I was ecstatic and so relieved I'd trusted her. Mark was still a little wary, but my excitement was contagious and he started to relax. The first crack appeared about 3 months out from the wedding. I wanted to schedule a menu tasting. "Oh, the caterer is super busy," Ella said. "They're not doing tastings right now, but don't worry, I've tasted everything and it's amazing. I picked all your favorites." That felt odd. A caterer not doing tastings? I pushed back a little and she got defensive. "Don't you trust me? I'm handling it." I backed off. I didn't want to start a fight over mini quiches. A few weeks later, I called the venue myself. I just wanted to ask about table arrangements. A woman answered. "Hi, I'm calling about the Smith-Johnson wedding in September," I said. There was a pause. "I'm sorry," she said, confused. "We don't have any event booked under that name in September. Our whole month is booked for a corporate retreat." My blood ran cold. My hands started to shake. "That can't be right," I stammered. "My planner, Ella Smith, booked it months ago." "Ma'am," the woman said gently, "we have no record of an Ella Smith booking anything with us this year. Are you sure you have the right venue?" I hung up, my heart pounding. It had to be a mistake. I called Ella. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I sent a frantic text. "Call me immediately. The venue says we're not booked." Hours crawled by, no response. Panic started to set in, thick and suffocating. I started calling the other vendors on her list. The florist? "No, sorry, no booking for you." The photographer? "We gave Ella a quote months ago, but she never paid a deposit." The DJ? Same story. Nothing was booked, not one thing. It was like my wedding didn't even exist. That night, Mark came home to find me on the floor, surrounded by my wedding binder, just sobbing. I could barely get the words out. "It's all fake, Mark. It's all gone." He tried to be optimistic. "There has to be an explanation. Maybe she used a different name." but I could see the horror dawning in his eyes, mirroring my own. The final, soul-crushing blow came when I logged into the joint bank account. I'd been avoiding it, trusting her fake ledger. When the page loaded, my breath caught. The balance was $17.42. I clicked on the transaction history. There were no payments to barn venues or local caterers. Instead, there were huge withdrawals, $40,000 gone. The descriptions weren't rustic barn weddings. They were to places like Chateau Luxe Banquets, Vera Wang Bridal, and Opulence Events, Inc. These weren't my vendors. These were high-end luxury suppliers, the kind of places Ella would want for her asterisk wedding. The pieces clicked into place with a horrifying clang. She hadn't been planning my wedding. She'd been planning her own. She had taken our life savings, our 3 years of sacrifice, our future, and was using it to fund her own lavish wedding. The financial betrayal was a deep wound, but the emotional betrayal is what truly broke me. The sister I had chosen to trust, the person I had made excuses for my entire life, had looked me in the eye, lied, and stolen everything. I felt so stupid and so broken. When I finally reached Ella 2 days later, her voice was breezy. "Hey, sorry, I've been swamped. What's up?" I kept my voice level, a chilling calm settling over me. "I know, Ella." "You know what?" she asked, a nervous tremor in her voice. "I know about the money. I know you took it for your own wedding." Silence, the silence of someone who'd been caught. When she finally spoke, her voice wasn't sorry. It was defiant. "I was going to pay you back. I just needed to put down the deposits to lock in my vendors. You know how it is." "You drained the account, Ella. $40,000. You left us with nothing 3 months before our wedding." Then came the guilt trip, a move she'd perfected since we were kids. "Well, maybe if Mom and Dad helped me more, I wouldn't have been so desperate. You and Mark have good jobs. You can save them again. This is my one special day. Are you really going to ruin it for me over some money?" Her total lack of remorse, her entitlement, it was staggering. She honestly thought she was the victim. In that moment, any love I had left for her curdled into something cold and hard. Sadness was replaced by a white-hot rage. Arguing was pointless. Legal action would be a long, ugly mess. No, this betrayal was a spectacle of selfishness, and it deserved an equally spectacular response. An idea began to form, an idea that was audacious, theatrical, and utterly ruinous. I wouldn't ruin her day. I'd let her have it. I'd let her walk down that aisle. And then I would burn it all to the ground. Before I tell you exactly what I did next, I have to ask, have you ever been betrayed by someone you were supposed to trust? Let me know your story in the comments. No one should feel alone with that kind of pain. And while you're down there, subscribe to Nightfall Narrative, because you are not going to want to miss the chaos that unfolds at my sister's wedding. After that call, I hung up. The time for tears was over. The hurt was still there, a deep ache in my chest, but it was now covered by a glacial layer of resolve. I looked at Mark, his face a mix of anger and worry. "We're not getting the money back, are we?" he asked quietly. "No," I said, my voice flat. "We're not." "So what do we do? Call the cops? Tell your parents?" I just shook my head. Telling our parents is pointless. They'd make excuses for her. They'd tell me to be the bigger person and not ruin her special day. And the police, proving her intent to steal from a joint account would be a nightmare. It would just tear the family apart for nothing. "No," I said again, a slow, cold smile spreading across my face. "We're not doing any of that. We're going to her wedding." Mark was confused. "What? Why would we watch her celebrate with our money?" "We're not just going to watch," I replied, the plans cementing in my mind. "We're going to participate. I'm going to be the perfect, smiling maid of honor. I'll help with her dress, toast her at the reception, and tell her how beautiful she looks. And then, when she's basking in the glory of her perfect, stolen day, I'm going to take it all away from her. I plan to replace the cheesy, sentimental wedding video montage that plays at every reception. I was going to create my own montage, an exposé backed by evidence of my sister's grand theft. It would be my wedding gift to her. First step, gather evidence. I already had the smoking gun, the bank statements. I printed them, highlighting every transfer from our joint account to her luxury vendors. The 10 grand deposit for the Chateau Luxe, the 8 grand payment to the high-end photographer, the 5 grand charge at Vera Wang, a perfect paper trail of her crimes. Next, I went back through the years of our texts. I found the ones where she promised me discounts and the fake confirmation updates she'd sent. I screenshotted everything. I even managed to record a phone call where she casually admitted to borrowing the money and told me I was overreacting. That audio clip was going to be the star of the show. The trickiest part was getting to her videographer. Playing the part of the dutiful maid of honor, I called Ella. Hey, I want to make sure the videographer has a list of key family members. What's his number? I'll coordinate with him. She gave it to me without a second thought, happy I was being so helpful. I called the videographer, Kevin. I have a special surprise for my sister, I explained, my voice dripping with fake sentiment. I've put together a little video of old family photos. It's a huge surprise. I was hoping during the reception, instead of the same-day edit, you could play my video from this USB drive. He was totally on board. What a sweet idea, he said. Of course, just get me the drive and I'll cue it up. She's going to love it. Oh, she was going to react all right. The next 2 months were a masterclass in acting. I helped her pick out tablecloths. I went to her ridiculous bridal shower, a party that probably cost more than my original wedding budget, and gave a speech about sisterhood, the words feeling like poison in my mouth. All the while, our parents praised me for being so forgiving. See, my mother said, I knew you'd come around. Family is most important. Mark watched me with a mix of awe and terror. Are you sure about this? He asked one night as I was editing my masterpike. Syncing her confession with a scrolling list of her expenses. This is going to be nuclear. It's what she deserves, I said, not looking up. She built her perfect day on lies and my broken dreams. I'm just going to shine a very bright light on it. My little surprise was a work of art. It started sweetly, with a few real childhood photos of us set to soft piano music. Then, a record scratch. The screen goes black and text appears. This is the story of a beautiful, expensive wedding, paid for with stolen money. What followed was a 10-minute exposé. It showed the bank statements. It showed the screenshots of her lies. It played the audio of her confession, her voice booming. You can save it up again. Are you really going to ruin my special day over some money? I cut her words with photos of our old, rusty car, our tiny apartment, and pictures of me looking exhausted in my scrubs. The video ended with a final, lingering shot of our joint bank account balance, $17.42. Then the screen went black, and the words "Congratulations to the happy couple" appeared in stark white text. I saved the final cut onto a pristine, gift-wrapped USB drive. The trap was set. All I had to do was wait. The wedding day was perfect. A crisp Saturday in June. The venue, Chateau Luxe, was as opulent as its name implied. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, the works. As maid of honor, I was in the bridal suite with Ella all morning. The room was bigger than my apartment. Ella was a queen in her element, wearing her $10,000 Vera Wang gown. It was a beautiful dress, I'll admit. It was also a dress bought with my sweat and tears, and every time I looked at it, cold fury washed over me. I played my part. I told her she was beautiful. I helped with her veil. I held her hand. My smile felt like it was carved on my face. Our parents were beaming. "Look at you too," my father said, tearing up. "So wonderful that you put your little disagreement behind you." I just smiled and squeezed Ella's arm. She squeezed back, smug. She thought she'd won. The ceremony was a blur of hypocrisy. They exchanged vows about honesty, and I had to stop myself from laughing. As they were pronounced husband and wife, 100 guests applauded. I clapped along, my heart beating a steady drum of anticipation. At the reception, I made my way to Kevin, the videographer. "Here's that USB," I said, handing him the gift-wrapped drive. "Remember, huge surprise, play this instead of the normal video." "You got it," he winked. "This is gonna be great." I gave my maid of honor speech, a masterpiece of doublespeak. "To my sister, Ella," I toasted. "I've learned so much from you. You've taught me about the importance of getting what you want, no matter the cost. You are a woman who is not afraid to take what she believes she deserves. So here's to you. May you always get everything you have coming to you." The guests cheered, thinking it was a quirky, loving speech. Ella beamed, completely missing the venom. Finally, the moment came. The lights dimmed. The planner announced, "And now, a special video presentation to celebrate our happy couple." A hush fell. I sat next to Ella, who was practically vibrating with excitement. I took a calm sip of water. The video started just as I'd planned. Sweet childhood photos. Ella gasped, "Oh my God, you did this? You're so sweet." She squeezed my hand. Then the record scratch. The screen went black. "This is the story of a wedding," the text read, "paid for with stolen money." A confused murmur went through the room. Ella's smile froze. Her hand went limp. Then came the bank statements, projected 10 feet high, the highlighted withdrawals, the vendor names. Guests started whispering, pointing. I saw Chad's parents, their faces twisting in horror. Then, the audio of her voice boomed through the ballroom's sound system. "You can save it up again. This is my one special day. Are you really going to ruin it for me over some money?" Dead, shocked silence. All eyes were on Ella. Her face went from pale to blotchy red. Her mouth hung open. Chad was staring back and forth between the screen and his new wife, his expression one of pure disbelief. The video ended on the shot of the $17.42 bank balance and the words, "Congratulations to the happy couple." The lights came up. The silence was deafening. Ella turned to me, her eyes wild. "You," she whispered, trembling with rage, "you did this." "Yes," I said calmly, "I did." Then chaos. She let out a primal scream and lunged at me. Chad grabbed her. Her parents were on their feet, my mother shouting my name. Chad's parents were standing, his mother pointing a shaking finger at Ella, her face a mask of thunderous fury. Guests were scrambling, some leaving, others pulling out their phones to record. The fairy tale wedding had devolved into a public spectacle of humiliation. My revenge was complete. It was theatrical, shocking, and oh so sweet. In the middle of the pandemonium, Mark grabbed my hand and we walked out. We didn't run. We walked, heads held high, leaving the wreckage behind. The fallout was immediate. Chad's wealthy, influential family was utterly humiliated. The marriage was annulled before the ink on the license was dry. I heard his mother demanded that Ella pay them back for their part of the wedding. My parents were furious with me. My mother called, screaming that I'd destroyed the family. I calmly told her that Ella had destroyed it when she stole from me, and they helped by enabling her for her whole life. I told them I needed space and hung up. I haven't spoken to them since. As for Ella, her life imploded. She lost her fiancé, her reputation, and everyone's respect. She had to move back in with our parents, disgraced and in debt. The sweet revenge I'd savored that day faded into something more complex. It was a bittersweet victory. I got justice, but I lost a sister, and for now, my parents. But I gained something much more valuable: my self-respect. I was no longer the little sister who would just be the bigger person. Mark and I are getting married next month. It's going to be in the backyard of the small house we finally put a down payment on. There will be 30 guests, a barbecue, and a playlist we made ourselves. It won't be anything like the lavish affair my sister tried to have. It'll be 100 times better. It'll be real. It'll be ours. And that is sweeter than any revenge I could have ever imagined. Thank you for following my journey from heartbreak to justice. If this story resonated with you, please share your own experiences with betrayal in the comments. It helps all of us to know we're not alone. And for more true stories of revenge and consequences, don't forget to subscribe to Nightfall Narrative.